Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 5 of Live and Loud. It's great having you guys.
Sure. Thank you for having us
out.
So I guess we'll just kick right off into the interview.
Okay.
Some hard-hitting questions.
Sure.
I think the most obvious one a lot of people might be thinking is, why is your band called the Leg Thighs?
That's your thing.
Okay. So there's a old Rolling Stones concert album called Rock and Roll Circus, and it's basically like a compilation with a bunch of famous like classic rock bands, The Who, Jethro Tull, and then there's like this band it's the drummer for Hendrix, it's Mitch Mitchell, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, and then John Lennon's like the front man. And when he introduces himself, he calls himself Winston Leg Thigh. So it's like a very obscure Rolling Stones John Lennon reference.
I think they were going by the name The Dirty Mac for that
Right.
one like benefit show or whatever they did. So.
Interesting.
So if you want to check them out, it's a really great show. If you're into that kind of music, like it's a great album to check out.
So when you guys order a bucket of KFC chicken, is it
Legs or thighs?
Yeah. Well, we have to get both.
That's
Of course.
half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
whose
on
legs?
brand.
Whose legs and whose thighs?
I'll be legs, man. No, we never decided. So.
We didn't. No.
You get
We
dark
kinda
meat
split
or
the role.
white meat?
Oh,
A mix.
a mix. Yeah, definitely a mix.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
All about the mix.
Legs.
I can't
Yeah.
decide.
A melting
anything,
pot
so.
of chicken.
I like dark meat because it's a little more, juicy,
Greasy.
juicy,
Juicy.
greasy,
Yeah,
like me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
I'm juicy
Like
and
me.
greasy. So, yeah.
I like that.
Although my complexion is more like the white meat, but
Yeah.
Bit of both. That's where it's the mix.
That's
We're all,
right.
Yeah.
we're all garbage inside.
Okay.
It's true. So I guess further on the question of that, you have a very fancy decal on your kick drum. I'm curious about that.
Okay. So my fiance does like craft things for fun. So she has that little vinyl cutter outer thing,
The
and
cricket?
yeah,
She
it's
cricketed
like
it?
it's like
Uh-huh.
cricket. Well, I did
Oh.
because she thought we weren't a real band.
yeah.
So
At the time, to be
At the
to be
time, I was
completely
like-
honest, at the
I was
time we
like,
probably weren't really all that
I've
much
been
of a
playing
band.
drums for 1 month.
Yeah.
And I was like,
We were
"There's
doing a
no
lot of-
logo on the bass
So
drum.
she wouldn't do
We
it
were doing,
until
like, covers
she
and
thought
stuff.
you
She
were a
helps
band.
a little bit, but mostly I
She
did.
was like, okay, do your drum kit then.
And I was
Yeah.
like, gold sparkle. And
All
she's
right, legs.
I guess also talking about that, you guys only recently, like this year, started as a band. Is that right?
That's true. Yes.
So like, why'd you guys
March,
get
April?
started?
Why?
Yeah, just where'd this come out of?
I mean, I knew Nick through a mutual friend, and I knew he played music, and I wanted to start a little studio. So I bought this drum kit, but I didn't really know anyone. I just moved to the area from DC, back to the area. So I was like, hey man, you want to jam? He plays guitar, but we both could kind of play drums.
Yeah.
Like we could hold beats. So we were like, let's just go play some music. And then he was a lot better at drums than I am.
It was like whoever's okay enough to like get
So are
through
you
it,
the
like-
better guitarist? Or
Yeah,
Probably,
he's better.
yeah, I don't know. I can probably sing better, but even that's probably close. So,
I think I think you play guitar and sing.
but we started out and we were really just messing around, like just to have fun. We were playing a lot of covers. Obviously, we're a two-piece, so like Black Keys, White Stripes covers, and then we were doing a lot of classic rock and bluesy covers and stuff. And then we just started writing stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, we always said like, who cares? We just having fun because we always go out and see bands that are. I mean, not to put any specific bands down, but everyone that gets on stage thinks they're a rock star,
Yeah.
and it's like that vibe is terrible to put off. So we're always like, if we can just laugh at ourselves and have fun.
Right.
You're
Wherever, like,
probably-
if we're taking this too seriously, we're not going to do it because it's really we're just doing it to have fun. So,
Sure, yeah,
um,
and that's how you get the most enjoyment out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
is if you're-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was noticing like you guys. I was researching you guys a little bit, and your Facebook page is very just like, hey,
Yeah,
we're
right.
just having fun.
right.
Yeah.
Lots of jokes and stuff. Check the Facebook out, the Leg Thighs, the Instagram. We have a YouTube if you can subscribe to.
Yeah, plug it out. Plug it.
But speaking of plugs, we're playing at Civic in Toledo, Ohio, on December 7th.
Budget.
So
Oh,
if you guys
actually,
want, tickets,
Bob Seger.
we're opening for Bob Seger, a
Budget
tribute band,
Bob.
a tribute of Bob Seger.
Yeah,
But
Bob Seger tribute.
it's on December 7th. Tickets are $10. So if you want to come check us out.
That sounds awesome.
Okay,
I
Yeah.
love
cool.
Bob Seger.
Yeah.
You think actual Bob will make an appearance?
You
Probably
know,
go
when he
incognito.
hears the Leg Thighs are playing, it's very
That's
possible.
true. That's true. That's true.
We're both we're rambling and gambling men, so it works well for us.
I definitely pick up when you reference where you got your name and like the kind of bands that you guys listen to. I definitely hear it in the way that you play your guitar.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm like, okay, he's an old rock guy.
There's definitely a lot of that influence in there.
Definitely hear
Plus,
that.
it's easier to sound like okay with two people instead of trying to
Yeah.
put something with too much going on.
You ever
like-
thought about adding a bassist?
Yeah, a little bit. We bugged one of our buddies for a while when we thought we needed him, but look at us now. So too bad, sucker.
We would get a bassist, but only if it was like that close friend of ours. Because again, we're in this to have fun.
Care, wanted to have fun.
Right.
Like
We don't want someone who's like super serious or that we would vibe with. You know. So you know, the way we come up with stuff is very organic, and we just like to just kind of chill and jam. So. We're pretty comfortable with where we're at right now.
That's good. I mean, that's kind of how it should be, right?
Yeah, and you could even do the approach of like people like Jack White or the Black Keys. Like they don't have it. I mean, they do now have touring bassists and stuff. But
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Typically, it'd just be like, well, we'll put bass in the studio in the records, but we're not gonna play live. But I mean, now they both have backing bands.
Yeah.
So that was a terrible example.
Old Black
All
Keys.
their early
Yeah.
records, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So you guys just looking to stay sort of around this level? Are you like looking to like have any big grand plans, or just like looking to chill out and just?
Yeah, when you
have
playing
fun?
the Grand Ole Opry?
Madison Square Garden 2020.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll just keep doing whatever, and if like bigger shows pop up, like we don't mind taking like a weekend if we have to go somewhere and play or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I mean, we're also fine with playing once every other month somewhere in Toledo or BG or whatever it is.
I mean, shoot. Next move is Bike Rack Records, so that's a pretty
Yeah.
big deal.
oh yeah, no, we're definitely
Take
down
that.
to. I mean, play
Going
wherever.
triple plat, baby.
They don't take just anybody in there.
That's
so.
right.
So I hear.
But we don't have plans. There's no grand plans. We're really like taking things just as they come.
Sure.
Right. There was no plan to write a bunch of original music. It just they just happened.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
there was
your
no
sound
plan to
is-
book a bunch of shows and do
It's
this.
pretty tight for just a year.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really
And,
clean.
and
You guys
barely
obviously,
caring.
Yeah. That helps, honestly.
Right,
I think
Yeah, I like the mentality a lot.
You guys
Yeah.
obviously work really well.
I mean, we're
together.
not like the punk rock like quit halfway through a song kind of like spit on your fans kind of not caring, but
No. We want this stuff to sound good, but we don't want to
Yeah,
take
we
ourselves. We don't
care
take ourselves
enough.
that seriously. You
Yeah,
know, we know what it is. And
but
what
if we
we're doing,
never
so.
got booked again, we'd be like, it's still fun. We'll
Yeah.
probably still play.
Still jam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what it's about.
So I guess you guys talking about just writing songs and stuff like that. How long have you guys, either of you, been like at the sort of like being in a band thing, or is this like the first time for either of you?
You want to go first?
I'm back in high school. I was, in like some pop punk bands and stuff like that. Again, not taking it very serious. Played around Northwest Ohio from Findlay. So, yeah, other than that, college and some adult life mixed in there and not in a band and kind of picking up the guitar once a week just to mess around. But no, this is probably the most successful band.
Which is funny because it's the one we're like most
And
probably
I'm not
trying
playing the
and then
instrument
just kinda-
I'm
He's not even a
good
good
at.
drum- Yeah.
better at.
I've been in, I mean, same thing. High school, I was in a few different bands. College, and then I moved to DC, and I was in a couple, like more bluesy bands, like kind of purist blues, for a minute. But before this,
Short show, one.
yeah. But before this, I probably hadn't really played with people for like 6-7 years. So it's been a minute,
Yeah, no
since I think
kidding.
both of us played, and that's kind of maybe why it works so well. I don't know, So.
DC's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got a great music scene. There's
Yeah,
a lot
when
of different, types of bands out there, a lot of places to play, and it's a cool city too.
So there's a very famous old punk scene in DC.
Yes.
Like, is that still there?
So DC has, they do have a pretty big punk scene where at 930 Club is like the spot where most of those bands go. They have a big, what do they call it out there? They have like a certain type of music that they play
The
in
cornucopia,
in DC. Gosh,
right?
I can't
Or
remember.
what
I
was
can't
it?
remember what
It
it's
was
called.
Thanksgiving related. I forget what it was.
I don't remember what it's called. But look,
not
but
that.
but it's like a ska kind of thing almost in DC.
Gross.
It's like on the streets of DC if you go into.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, hard
Yeah,
pass.
it's not like my flavor, but you know, like I said,
I don't
like
think
they
it's
have a lot of
anybody's.
scenes there. They have a really good blues scene. Madam's Organ is a great like blues bar, so you can really find any type of music that you want there.
That's awesome.
And we feel like this area, you know, there's maybe less bands like us, you know. So we're kind of trying to bring that kind of music.
You can find original music if you look. But
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are into like dudes that just know their way around the guitar, we got some people that you'd probably love to check out.
yeah.
We
It
can,
sounded really sexual.
we can definitely talk.
check these guys out.
Why you gotta do that?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? I'm just observing, Michael.
Okay, Jackson.
Sure.
Keep
the-
Jackson,
just-
take it away.
we-
Keep
little
the
back.
show
Okay.
moving.
I guess
Reel
we
it
could,
in.
we could do some classic asking a band questions
Sure.
of like if you guys want to like say like specific artists or influences that you guys think come
Oh,
through
right.
in your songwriting.
Sure. For me, John Lennon's probably my biggest influence. I really, really like John Lennon. Just the way I don't know. I think he wasn't like a master musician like Paul McCartney was, but he had a lot of soul and a lot of, you know. So he's one of my biggest influences. Obviously, a lot of older blues
You
guys
just started
too.
a huge argument on
Um,
Reddit somewhere.
Yeah, probably. They're both great. My style is more like Lennon's style, you know. But that's what made the Beatles so great. I think is like the two different kind of
The timeless
contrasts.
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
did say John Legend, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, of course. John Legend. Yeah.
Who
The
doesn't love John
the
Legend?
piano player.
Okay,
It's in the
we're-
name.
Jackson, reel it in again.
Nick probably a
hey,
little
no,
different
yeah,
though.
we
What
can-
about
we can cut
Leave
him
this
off.
one out there. Don't reel it.
Oh,
Don't reel it.
what drummers influence you?
the worst one.
So
Any drummer
Meg
that you're
White?
like he should not be playing drums, that's my
Oh,
that's my guy. or
that's
girl.
definitely Meg White.
What about Animal from the Muppets?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. That's
He
good.
kind of looks like that. So.
I'm not a big Muppet person, so
Oh.
sorry about your luck.
I've never
Guitar wise, I don't know. I heard Master of Puppets on the radio when I was like 10 years old and threw my saxophone away and
Good. Well,
literally bought a guitar.
saxophones are also dope, so you should have held on to that as well.
Yeah,
There's a better,
that would work in this
lesser-known
band.
I didn't
version.
have
Yeah,
any
some leg
room
thigh
in my room
saxophone.
for
Can you still
so-
play it?
No.
Ah.
Probably make a note. Come out,
All right, that's a start. Yeah,
Make a note.
Sax is the instrument.
He's
man.
breaking
That's
those
the one.
reeds.
good conceptual. Yeah.
So Kirk
Well-
Hammett and John Lennon. All right, that's diversity.
John Legend though.
Oh right,
Yeah, that's right, John Legend.
yeah, that's my bad.
That's top tier. Nobody argues that.
Does John
done.
Legend even play an instrument?
Oh yeah.
Does he have to?
I think he plays piano.
Oh, piano.
Yeah.
I'm totally unfamiliar about
don't
anything
think-
about him.
I know
Yeah.
a song if it came on, but I don't.
I can see his face, and that's it.
And
That's all-
Chrissy Teigen.
That's all I know.
Yeah, he does that one song. He's like,
That's exactly how it
That's-
goes. Wow.
That's the one.
now I
That
know.
was
Who,
me on
now I know
saxophone.
exactly who.
We're
it
gonna
is.
get copyright struck.
That's
The
who you know
video's
it.
gonna get taken down because you matched it perfectly.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Play it again.
Damn, another one. Wow, you know it's 3 and
Are
your
you
channel gets taken down.
Next week, live
Just-
and loud. Just him.
Just
Right.
those, just
John
those
Legend.
guys.
Acapella.
That's it.
Just
Keep
sitting
it
in
right
front of the
here.
mic. Just
Uncover that piano.
But he won't be playing it. He'll just be sitting back with on.
yeah. It's all for the
That
aesthetic.
one
Right.
key.
So I just want to ask more about specifically like how when you guys are going about writing songs, because you guys like literally just started. So
Yeah.
where do songs sort of like come from when you guys are just like messing around or?
Well, I do. I do a really funny thing where I bring the voice recorder out on my iPhone and like do like one of those for a riff, you know.
Tried and true method.
And then, because I'll forget it immediately, and I'll be like, I think I had a cool thing, but I didn't have my guitar, and I apparently
sounds
don't
like
play
he's at
guitar
work.
anymore either.
Are you at work doing it? It sounds like
I'm
he's at
at
work
work.
at his desk, like underneath.
I
Like,
could be anywhere.
and then he comes to practice. He's like, "How about this?" And it's just him, like whisper humming it, the riff.
Yeah,
And I'm like, sure,
I
okay.
love it. That's
And then it comes
awesome.
into
Like
and
he's
then
trying not to get
honestly,
caught.
like,
we
Solid.
probably put it into
Yeah.
a song.
probably like half the songs are.
And then a lot of them will just be
Come from
jamming
somewhere.
through, and then we'll just do something, and we'll be like, "Ooh, that was cool," and then we'll put it in.
And it's easy because
You know.
our songs are like between 2 and 3 minutes long, so
Yeah.
they don't need a lot of parts, like 3-4 parts, and we'll play it like that for I don't know, a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and then we'll be like, it needs like one extra thing, and
Right.
that's it. Then it's done.
Pretty much.
You ever think about actually like putting that like recording of you on your phone, just like put
Just
it in the song?
In the right in the middle of
Just
it.
put it in there. We'll just
Just stop.
mix it down.
That's the
there.
bridge. Is just you. humming.
Just him humming it.
It's pretty rough, so I don't know.
Auto-tune. We could fix it.
It's true. Yeah, I think can fix anything.
There you go.
Bike racks.
We're gonna need a lot of it for what I was doing.
Yeah, we got a couple plugins for this.
Oh, good.
We can make it happen.
So you guys are looking to like record your first album then coming soon, right?
We have I mean, we have.
We don't know.
Record something.
Oh,
Record
this-
something. We
Sure.
have, a lot. All the originals we just played. So we have about, in total, probably like 13 or 14 originals, but probably like 9 that we actually
Like.
would want to put down.
Sure.
I mean, we haven't said like we're gonna record an album specifically, but we would like to get some music recorded. A full album, I don't know yet. I mean, we'd have to see.
Sure.
But
Really playing it by ear.
yeah, really.
Yeah, I
playing
mean,
it by
I
ear.
feel it. Yeah.
Like we have these semi-crappy recordings. I mean, they're crappy.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're one
like
mic
on our
recordings,
Instagram,
you
we
know.
had to have something because we're like, okay, we're kind of a band now. You want to play somewhere?
Yeah.
You need
Like,
recordings to play. 'em.
Are you a
Yeah.
band? Like, you're gonna show up to my bar and literally be worse than we are?
Right.
We're right at the cusp of like being allowed to play places. So,
Right.
Um,
So we
I don't
needed
know.
something to show.
now
'em,
we
so-
need something like maybe someone like we would listen to.
right.
Sure.
Instead of
Something
like
that's
a bare bones demo.
It's
Yes.
just passable songs.
Yes.
Yeah, just just enough.
So you guys. So I guess I already kind of asked you about the bigger plans, but I mean, like, once you get these down, where are you guys looking to like go from there?
Sky's
Just send
the
them
limit, my guy.
We've discussed lots of different things. We have no set plans, but like, of course, we would like to start playing in BG. We've played in Toledo right now. All the kind of spots in Toledo, Frankie's, Ottawa Tavern, like Bar 145. We played the Lucas County Fair, so we've played kind of that area. We'd like to branch out a little bit
About a rip.
if we can.
That sounds cool.
We'd like to play in BG, and maybe Ann Arbor. We could take a weekend and go out to Cleveland. So we have kind of connections in a lot of cities. So we're gonna see if we can maybe do that sometime in 2020. But that's kind of, I mean, it's up in the air. We don't have any solid. We're gonna do
The
this.
county
plans.
fair's kind of the end of the career move. That's like
Yeah.
county
Yeah.
fair with 38 special.
Yes,
Like,
right.
That's the last stop.
Right.
But you got it out of the way.
We got
early.
it. We got it out of the way first.
Yeah,
so
it's just all
That's
down.
good. It's
Right.
kind of like a Benjamin Button thing of
Doing
your
a career
career.
backwards.
Yeah.
our last stop will be probably O2 Arena in London, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Incredible.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wembley.
Yeah.
I like
there you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Rock Am Ring.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
This is cool. I see big things. Big
Yeah,
things.
those are big things.
Big thighs, big legs. Yeah.
Big legs, big
Mm.
thighs.
I said in the wrong order because
Someday
Stupid.
maybe you guys introduce a little bit of wings in there.
Ooh.
Or like
good
when you
idea.
if you get a bassist,
That's the wings.
the leg thigh wings.
that's pretty good.
Something to consider.
You guys looking into going
not
really
bad.
hard on the food angle for your branding then once you branch out?
I thought I was just gonna show a lot of my thighs, but I guess
The
we
leg
could do
thighs
food.
with
we
their
were gonna
new
get,
single,
we were gonna
Crispy.
get thigh tattoos already.
That's true.
Seinfeld references.
That's true. We almost did that. So
You almost did it, or you did
we
it?
almost
one
did it,
would.
but there were no shot. It was spur of the moment thing, and then we just
Oh,
we
nobody
went to
did
two
it?
different places, and they were like, "Oh, we can't do it right now,"
Of a
So then we
Seinfeld reference.
because it was kind of late, and
It's a Seinfeld reference.
yeah.
Yeah. Serenity now.
That's Jerry
Sandy,
Seinfeld, Mark.
I'm familiar.
Popular sitcom. Maybe you've heard of it.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, see, I'm doing it again. I hum it out. Yeah.
I got it though,
Yeah.
right away, right when you did it.
See, we don't need bass.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you we'll mic you up and you'll just sort of hum.
That's a good
There you go.
idea.
We
Yeah.
were messing around with trying to play harmonica and drumming at the same time with one of those like
Oh,
How'd it go?
harmonica holders.
Can you play
Just
the
as good as
He
that
plays
was,
harmonica
so-
really
You
well,
can
but,
play it?
but while he
Just
does, I
doing
cannot
both.
play it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Drumming is like a lot.
Well, especially
do
when
it,
you've
I
only been
feel
drumming
like.
for like 6 months.
I mean, the drums are simple.
Oh.
Anyone that actually didn't you?
If you can
Jackson,
keep a
said play
tempo.
drums, so
Yeah.
like you didn't see anything that was important there. So
Phil Collins drummed and sang.
that's
true.
why I don't have bottom heads
That's what
on.
I'm trying to get
Actually,
you to
I'm
do.
like, if he didn't use bottom heads on
Phil
his
Collins?
drums, then like I don't need to. Plus, didn't want to tune him up.
Did you just
Yeah.
Phil Collins?
oh,
He's a maniac, dude.
Or are you a Peter Gabriel guy?
Yeah.
Oh, neither.
just not no Genesis.
No Genesis. Okay.
Oh.
I mean,
What about Muddy Waters?
Ooh,
Now
that's
now you're talking my language.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Team Collins for the record, though.
Yeah, I think everybody
It's
else
all right.
is.
Yeah.
That
pretty solid.
that Meek Mill song where he comes with "In the Air Tonight" on that album he put out last year. That is a good song.
I don't know what a Meek Mill is.
Oh, he's
It's
a hip
Mills
hop
Meek.
He's
Yeah.
a hip hop artist. Free
It's
Meek.
not a good meal.
But he's free.
Milling it out.
Well, somebody's got to mill all that Meek.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Thank you.
So Jackson, question for you.
Oh,
How long
okay.
have you been playing drums?
Oh,
and-
how the tables have
Ooh.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah, I'm
perform.
taking this over.
When the interviewees
yeah,
become
what's
the
going on?
interviewers.
What's going on in your life right now?
Whoa.
Ironically, I'm currently working on making a Phil Collins rap tribute.
This
It's
Rap
just like
tribute?
a dumb, like a stupid, like
There you go.
parody.
Well,
Not like
that's
a
it.
I don't like him, but
That's
it's
set
like
that
a
up.
He brought it back.
Did you see that alley oop?
That was
Yeah.
good. Don't understand.
Segue, dude. The
It's really
secret
good.
segue.
Like
This was incredible. Whoa. Is that new?
No, it's old.
Nah.
That was the
I'm-
first thing we came up with.
that was the
Before you even
first song.
started the band.
First song we wrote.
But you,
Leg thigh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So which
It's
one
not
of you
actually a
two
song.
can do more paradiddles in 60 seconds?
Dude, him.
I
I
mean,
pointed at Jackson?
Yeah.
I think he pointed at
I just know it's paradiddle, but I couldn't play it.
it's right, left, right, right. It's crazy.
You're right.
Don't mansplain it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I just got my first drum lesson.
There you go. You're ready.
Yeah,
Are you
man.
worried about being replaced by Jackson in your band?
A little bit. I mean, after this Phil Collins thing drops, we're all doomed. He's
Yeah.
coming for
He's
everything
also treading
you
on
have.
my territory, which I'm not too happy about.
It's not gonna be good. Don't worry about it.
That's what he does.
It's not going to be good for me. Was that a threat?
It's not gonna be good for anybody, including me.
He's
it's okay.
threatening the world now.
He warms up to you with friendship, and then
Yeah, right.
as
He's
soon
like,
as you turn your back,
got these guys.
I will
That's what he
destroy you all. And the terror
We're
tonight.
interviewing you guys.
Okay,
Oh, right,
so,
right, right.
so
Believe
how
it or
long?
not.
How long have you been drumming again?
Well, I don't know, since like middle school,
Ooh.
because it's my dad drums, so it's like
Okay.
I gotta do what he does, because that's cool.
you let
So-
them turn it right back to you.
Yeah, he didn't even.
Yeah,
fight
he
me
didn't.
at
He would
all.
just.
He's not
he,
taking
he
anything
just
over.
bit.
Yeah.
Hey, would you
I
rather
don't wanna be
fight?
rude.
Would you rather fight one giant duck or 100 really tiny ducks?
This is not even how that goes. Is
I
it?
know. I've changed it to
It's
Like-
freeform.
oh.
Well, hold on, let me do the turnaround on you.
because he knew
What about
what
you?
the original was coming.
Would you
Uh-huh.
rather fight a giant duck or a bunch of
Yikes.
tiny
Well, you
horses?
can't
horses.
do that. That's not a turnaround.
They just did it to me, so I'll just.
that's not a
We'll do a
turnaround.
Yeah,
double
but
turnaround.
you
I
didn't notice when
I
they did it
think
to you.
it's
Well,
a giant duck or like 100 tiny horses. It's
Yeah.
not the same animal shrunk down.
Oh, I mean, it should be.
It's still kind of the same.
I can fight the tiny
question.
horses. I just kick them. Horse,
Yeah,
horse-
yeah,
That's what you do
anything
to
but
the
there's
duck,
like
too.
100
But
of
the
them.
duck
But
could fly.
How
though.
tiny are we talking?
Yeah, how
though?
tiny is it?
It's supposed to be duck-sized horses. So
Nope.
Or one horse-sized duck.
Yes.
Oh, I'll do the horse-sized duck.
The horse size.
No.
That's not that big. Of
I
a
don't
duck.
know.
No, wait. Do you know how big a horse is?
Yes.
Do you know how vicious ducks are?
Are they vicious?
No.
They're angry.
ducks are
Nice.
they're messed up.
Yeah, they're not a
They're-
good.
hey.
No.
They're
I feel
pretty
like-
padded.
There's a reason that we ride horses and we don't ride ducks.
There's a reason that the hockey team was called the Mighty Ducks and not the Mighty Horses. That's all I'm saying.
Damn,
All right.
damn.
Sorry, I got
Got
this.
'em.
I got this way off the rails.
It's all right. That's
tend to
that's
do
what
that.
this
It's just another
this
track. The
post
track
show
just
is all
turned.
about.
We're
It's
still
just
riding.
like-
Yeah,
We're
right.
still riding right
yeah,
into the station.
Exactly.
That's right.
Sunday station.
Riding to the station.
Now I keep learning new things. Now I know that you play harmonica. How many instruments between you two do you think you guys know how to play? It seems like you're hiding something from the people.
So okay,
The
it depends on your definition of play.
What?
Like, I can hold a beat on drums and do like a simple fill, and I
Oh.
can play like a couple songs on piano, and I could play bass if I needed to because I've played it before. So, but I probably am only good enough to play guitar like in a real band
Or
Um,
what we do.
or like what we do, right? Exactly. So, I mean, I can play those other things, but I wouldn't like say that I'm an expert at them. Or
Sure.
So
Yeah.
in the studio, is it messing with extra instrumentation like that? Is that something that you guys would be like looking to do, or is this more like you want to keep it true to your live sound?
Maybe if something was like a one-off little
Yeah.
part, like there's that little part where like that flute just rips out.
Never thought I'd hear that in my
You know what
life.
I mean? Because everyone would be like, "Oh, that's that flute song where they have like a 10
You
second
just
flute
rips
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like
This is a
Marshall
good time
Tucker,
to say I think
Like
Jethro
21
Tull
Savage.
is a super lame band.
I don't like Jethro Tull, but I like Marshall Tucker.
I think the flute thing and the fact that they took the first ever metal Grammy is infuriating.
So that is infuriating. That is infuriating. I completely agree. But Aqualung is a really,
It's a
really good
novelty.
album. It's a really good album, though. Jethro Tull, I'm not a huge fan of, but that album is
Yeah.
killer.
I can't say I've listened through it.
It's
so
really good. I'm telling you.
I just didn't like the song Aqualung or
Yeah.
I
that
don't
they
think
were
Nick
playing
liked
it.
it.
see
I mean,
that
that's
put
what's
on
on. That's what that is from.
This is
so.
where the leg and the thigh rip from the chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right at the knee.
I can't believe you don't like Aqualung.
I
That song
just
rips.
I don't know. I just Jethro
Ja-
Tull
Jackson,
didn't
what do you
they
think?
didn't catch me.
Honestly, I listened to "Thick as a Brick" like maybe twice, and
Yeah.
I'm not too.
But that's not even their good.
I know. It's because I was when you're listening to prog, it's like
Yeah.
these are the albums. This one, "Thick as a Brick." Listen to this. And it's like I don't.
But Aqualung's not the. It's the one
I
album
know,
that's
yeah.
not prog, and that's why
Jethro
it's,
Tull
and
was
I enjoy
prog?
it.
They're
Yeah, their
considered-
other albums
they're like
are,
on
yeah.
the list.
What?
Yeah,
I've never thought of them like that.
I didn't think of them as that either when I listened
But
to
their
it.
mainstream songs are not. So like
Yeah.
Locomotive Breath, Cross-Eyed Mary, Aqualung, those are
Right.
not like prog songs. Those are like just classic
Good band
rock,
name
quote
or
unquote,
good band names.
songs. What?
Good songs, titles.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're definitely a
Just
kind
guys
of
look
a
both
weird
of
band.
them.
but-
Sure. All right.
Where we going next?
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh, further.
Or I mean,
You
you
didn't even.
have nothing. huh?
You don't have notes this time.
I mean,
around.
I did.
Did you
They're on-
memorize your
See,
show?
it looks trashy when you're on your phone. That's why I like to write them out.
Yeah, like you're
but
texting while I'm talking.
I
I'm
know
like,
it
okay.
looks really trashy.
So like,
I know I'm boring,
what are you
but-
guys about anyway?
yeah, I'm actually texting you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Well,
I'm actually hashtag
We'll
liking
text you
this.
back.
yeah, I'm gonna
I would just text. Let's all get on our phones.
I'm gonna ignore that.
Just double
Jackson's
tapping.
texting me.
Oh, someone who tuned in to the live feed said, my favorite song was the white guitar song with the slide riff at the 11-minute mark.
Is that your fiance?
No,
That's just a person.
it's my neighbor growing up. Yeah.
Oh, so you still
It
know.
wasn't. Yeah, it's
The,
still
the
someone
white
I know.
the white guitar song.
The white guitar song. That's what we're gonna call it from now on.
I like it. I like that white guitar as well.
I do. It's a nice guitar.
So you're texting now too, or what?
What? I thought we were on our
Oh,
phones.
you're actually texting?
I actually was.
We
yeah.
were pretending.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
pretended
I
to
made up
ignore.
that.
My bad.
I don't even know if the white guitar was out at the 11-minute mark.
Probably. Sounds like it might.
Pretty
guess-
neat if it was. You
I don't
kinda
know if the
would've
neighbor
nailed
would
it.
lie
No,
about
look it up.
about when he saw it. What would his motivation be?
I'm just lying.
Yeah.
Could be.
That's all liars do. They just lie to lie.
Okay, this is out of control.
A question I actually read on my phone.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
reminded me of you talking about the white guitar song.
Mm-hmm.
Was
These segues just write themselves.
I'm telling you.
I know. Just like about technique and stuff and all that. Like, what inspired you guys? Who or what inspired you guys to like pick up your instruments in general and like learn from that?
Yeah, that's it.
Stumped him.
I
Okay.
picked up a guitar because I heard Master of Puppets on the
Yeah.
radio, and that was it. And then I played drums because Nick bought drums and said, "You're drumming with me now," and that's it. And
For,
then- but
I don't know. For me, I got like really, really into like Rage Against the Machine and Nirvana, and I was already into like classic rock, but that's when I started wanting to play guitar. And Nirvana's a pretty good band to start with because their stuff is pretty simple. So, and then I kind of just went from like that, and then I played like some Green Day stuff, like the simpler stuff, and then I finally started getting into like the Zeppelin stuff and lots of classic rock guitarists, Jimmy Page. Like I would sit in my room and just play along with the tracks over and over and over again. Clapton, Jimmy Page, old blues tracks, Buddy Guy, and stuff like that. So, I definitely have a lot of like influences and grew up on a lot of different kind of styles of music, but all very like electric guitar heavy.
Sure.
So
And all self-taught.
yeah.
what about lyrics, Nick? How do you get those?
So, so the way like I'll write a song and I'll like have the music first. We'll put that down usually, and then I'll try to come up with a vocal melody that sounds catchy. And the lyrics, most of them don't really mean anything. They're just lines that I think like sound kind of cool. Some of the songs are about things, but
Like travel?
yeah, like going down places. I
Yeah,
go
he
down.
used to
I go down.
Every
I go
song
down a
had
lot.
like 3 lines where he was going down somewhere.
So
just,
you can really tell I'm influenced by like old blues lyrics because I'm always going down or
like,
waking
oh,
up
a new song.
or
There
heading
you
to
go,
the
this song.
tracks or going to the station
I just
or
really
my baby
like
left me
roads.
or
I like that your drummer calls you out.
Oh, all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
where are we
know,
going this time, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking of,
That's definitely a blues thing, though. I definitely hear that.
yeah, for
All
sure.
the lyrics.
yeah, there's definitely
sure.
No,
So-
I think
in there,
I
but
think I think the last songs you wrote lyrics for are
the
different.
the
Like,
more
'cause
recent.
I made fun of you for so long that you were forced to do something.
I was
else,
forced
and
to
it was
actually
better.
try to write a song about stuff.
Yeah.
So the most recent songs are about like actual things that have happened in my life or something like that. So they have more of a story to them rather than like Pretty
Generic.
Mama, for instance, was like the first song, and it's just like Pretty Mama, why you treat me mean, worst lady that I've ever seen. Right? It's just
Total
like
blues.
Yeah,
total, just
blues,
simple,
like,
easy,
easy
like,
to write, easy to remember.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly. So I don't know. We're definitely we want to have fun. We want to rock. And you know that's kind of it. So the lyrics aren't super meaningful or anything. You know, not super deep.
just like mumble rap.
You know, but they
What about mumble rap?
It's not very deep.
no,
Buddy?
no, but it's good though. But
Look at mumbling.
I'm a fan, but
True. Yeah, I have a lot of metal influence, and you have a lot of hip hop and rap influence.
yeah, that's true. We definitely have. I think that's part of the thing. We have a lot of different. You might have can tell from the way we're talking about different artists, but like we both really like classic rock, bluesy kind of music, like just rock and roll. But he loves metal. I don't like metal. I love like hip hop. He doesn't really like hip hop.
Where's the threshold of metal start for you?
Ooh, I like some Metallica, like some
Uh-huh.
early Metallica, but that's
Yeah.
about as far as I'm gonna go.
Okay. So, really, anything.
Now, if
with-
I'm at the gym though, like Slayer, I could mess with or something like that. That's like metal, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
Pantera or something.
thrash metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the gym, I
Oh,
could do
okay.
that, but I would not put
Pantera,
that
I
on
thought
like
might
the
have been
car.
on the fringe for you.
Yeah,
The
it's close.
the big four of thrash metal,
Yeah.
Slayer's the only band that I like will not listen to. I
Yeah.
just like his voice is garbage and everything they do sucks, and I don't understand why people like Slayer. The other three of the big four are great bands.
Yeah.
Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax.
See, I don't do Megadeth. I'm not a big Slayer fan either, but I don't do Megadeth.
He's got his voice is acquired taste as well. If you're not into it,
believe
but- and
What
like
about Lamb of God or
I-
Caliban?
I don't know these bands.
Me neither.
Mm.
I know these bands. They're okay.
He definitely knows.
I was just throwing them out there. I don't really listen to metal.
Yeah, he
Metal's
does-
one of those things that I will definitely listen to at a show. I'll go to a metal show because I feel like
'Cause
that's the
it's
kind of
not-
like
yeah, there's nothing like
environment.
that,
It's
yeah.
mostly environment
Yeah.
to me. Like you said, you wouldn't turn it on in your car. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But I would definitely go to a metal show.
Yeah.
I want to thrash around and go crazy and just punch girls.
Yeah, when I met Mark,
Come on.
Or whoever.
I mean, he's a hip hop artist. So when I met him, that I know of, he didn't listen to a lot of rock and stuff, and so we started going to a lot of punk shows together, and we had so much fun in the pits. And
Oh, yeah.
like, just because he doesn't listen to it in his car, but we have fun at the shows every
Right.
time.
Yeah, I feel like there's a way to appreciate pretty much all music.
Yeah.
Oh,
if-
yeah.
Like
if you're not ignorant about it, like everything is good for one reason or another.
Yeah.
So
Let people like
yeah,
what they
people
like.
that just
you know?
walk up and they're like, "This sucks." I'm like,
Yeah.
You don't even know anything about what you're talking about.
Like I'm not a country fan, but I definitely like some country artists, and I can mess with some country, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, country is awful.
I'm sure if you went to like a good old hoedown, you would have a good
Oh,
time.
I would
'cause
love
the
it.
people
Yeah,
there
love
are
it.
just
Yeah.
having a great time. Like it's just
Uh-huh.
like environment.
Some
It
Like
creates the environment. That's kind of like
jean
the
shorts.
part
sure.
of music, you know.
I think country has this stigma too, ever since like high school, where like it was just cool to hate it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like-
That's what I'm saying.
And most of the people that hate country have never heard a
They've heard,
country
like, maybe
song in their
3 country
life.
songs.
yeah,
yeah.
or like real older
Yeah,
country
like-
from like
or-
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think
60s
that
and
what
70s.
people really hate is like pop country. for the
Exactly,
most
which is
part,
all-
because pop
a lot of
country is
country today.
pretty rough.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
brilliant country music
Oh, yeah.
artists for sure, and like
Dude,
uh,
those guitar players too.
people
rip.
like Brad Paisley and
Yeah.
Keith Urban. Those dudes could hold their own in any rock band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those dudes shred.
But because they don't have the distortion or the
Right.
the
It's just
humbuckers,
cleaner,
they're
but they-
exactly.
yeah.
But
I mean, their
they are
technique
picking.
is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But like they're country, so they say.
Right, exactly.
I don't get it.
Talking about the energy that bands gonna have on stage that makes you want to watch no matter what. We were noticing in there that you guys, even though you're playing to like a camera guy and some random people in the studio, you guys still brought like a lot of energy, which is
We do
interesting.
that in the shed, just by ourselves.
It's not actually a shed.
It's like I don't know what is
Like
it.
he said, come over. Actually, to his mom's house. She has a shed. I'm gonna clean it out, and we're gonna practice. I'm like,
No,
what?
I'm not doing that.
But it's like a shop, like a finished building. So
Yeah,
That's the reference.
It's like a workshop basically.
Nicknamed
It's a
the
full
shed.
room.
Yeah,
It does
we
not look
call
like a
it
shed
the
at all. It's like a
shed,
full
but
room.
It's got a door
Um,
and a floor.
But again, we're having fun.
Walls,
Like we're doing this to have fun,
power.
you know.
That's awesome.
I mean, honestly, when come to that show on December 7th, that's how because we'll really be rocking then. Obviously with the headphones and no real actual crowd, we're not gonna go as much, but
Yeah.
you know, you can imagine. So.
And we were recorded, so not being able to drum very well, kind of nervous about that.
Right. You know, we wanted to make sure we were getting it on point. When we're
And I
live,
smash that cymbal up.
we just
'cause
wanna
I use a real
bang.
crappy cymbal that
Right. you can just hit the
I
heck out
want
of
to
it.
break it. So,
Yeah.
that
But-
sounds sweet. This place is amazing, by the way. Stop
Thanks.
by, check it out.
So
Great.
we see all these bands live. You go out and see these bands, and they're all standing there like they're not having any fun. They're all standing there like, or if they're moving and having fun, they're like taking themselves way too serious. Like they think they're like, you know, the biggest rock
Literally
star
rock
ever, and they're
stars.
playing
Yeah.
to like 20
Playing.
people, right? So first of all, we are having fun when we're doing it, so we're naturally going to look like we're having fun because we just are. And second of all, we don't take ourselves that seriously, so we're not going to be up there like, you know, trying to make sure everything is perfect or make sure we look the actual part. It's just we're up there jamming and having a good time and playing music that we hope people can jam and have a good time to.
It's a lot better to watch from the crowd rather than like a cover band that's reading their chords off of an iPad.
Oh my
iPad
gosh!
thing
Oh,
kills
that's
me,
our
dude.
biggest pet peeve.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
That
I'm
is-
like, go home and practice that song until you do not need
They're
that
not
iPad.
even your.
It's
Yeah,
not even
like,
your song.
It's recorded by someone else, so you can learn it whenever you want.
Right.
But
Ah.
even that, like we had that conversation with Drew about the whole cover band culture, and I am not a fan of it at all. Like, just why can't we just get some more original music,
Yeah.
And like pepper in a cover of people that have
Sure.
influenced
or at
you.
least
Yeah.
like
Like Pepper
play
in a Ray
your
Charles
own
song or something.
style.
If you know you're
Yeah.
cool as hell. You know?
And like, or like, and reimagine it to the style of what you're of
Yeah.
your band or
Yeah.
anything. It's not like completely anti-cover so much as like don't make your
Yeah,
whole
it's not-
thing. Don't off of somebody else's music.
I get that. At the same time, there are people that like want to hear it. So
Right.
you know,
There's a time and a place.
exactly. It's like any music, but definitely like people talk about support local music, and then they tag like cover bands and stuff. Like
I mean,
to
that-
me, that it's kind of local music, but like
I mean,
you
it's
know.
live music
Yeah.
outside, which is fine. And those bands are generally good. Just go close your eyes, and they sound
good.
fine.
Yeah, I go out
But,
to
like,
bars and like
If you're
listen
going to
to
see
them,
like
you know.
a show, it should be a show.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like if you're going out drinking on a Friday night and you want to hear, Mr. Brightside played by a cover band.
Yeah.
That's the place for that.
Right.
But if you want to go watch musicians play music, watch them do something that they created.
Yes,
Right.
art.
and
The
when we
art.
were in
When it's
Toledo
original, it's art.
watching that Queen
You know.
Oh yeah.
band,
Like
I was
they were like a
I was
touring.
one person in 25,000 that was not happy. I was the only one there that everybody else
For
knew.
Budget Queen.
Yeah,
I just
Budget
didn't-
Queen.
Yeah.
I wasn't biting it, man. I was just so mad.
I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't go to Budget Queen.
Pouted the
They
whole
went.
time.
I went.
Everybody
I
else is laughing
didn't.
and
Yeah, we
loving
probably
life.
saw you.
and-
Didn't even know you yet.
Well,
Yeah.
You didn't
Look
know
at
he
us
was a
now.
thrashing, ripping drummer. Now you do.
Because they did a fantastic job, and I'm
Right,
I'm mad
that's-
about it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They
like,
were amazing.
Nailed
It was incredible. But
But
I
was-
heard it was really good too.
No, it
so
was.
I
It was
used
really
that
good. But
Budget
I,
Queen joke like 10 times at the bars after, and like,
He was killing it
people
all
weren't
night.
laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
If as long as people keep laughing, keep telling
Yeah, I was
it.
like,
That's
I'm
right,
gonna
yeah.
milk
Keep
this
telling
so
it.
good.
Yeah.
The joke's funny as long as people keep laughing.
How long have you guys been like going to shows? Because a lot of comments from you guys have come up about like I hate this and this certain thing. I can just
Yeah, we
tell
hate
from you
everything.
guys that you've seen like
We
a
don't.
lot.
Let me be. I don't hate this stuff. It's just
Yeah.
for me personally, it's not like my style. But I understand that people like it, so I don't want to be like seem like a hater or something, you know. But
Too late.
I know I am a bit of a hater.
Too late for
I
that.
hate on him.
Can we edit this? Go
Easily.
back and cut hate
Yeah.
out everywhere.
Easily, we can change anything we wanted.
Leave it.
Said that.
I don't know. I mean,
Evil, we
I've
can
been
change
I've
anything
been going to
we want.
concerts since I was like 15.
yeah, he's actually got some good stories. I mean, about going to shows.
What's your best show? Who's the best person you've seen live?
My favorite band of all time is a hardcore band, Every Time I Die. I've seen them like 10 times, 12 times. They just destroy every time.
Do they die every time?
Yeah, they rejuvenate.
But you used to photograph.
Oh,
bands
yeah.
as well.
Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
I started wanting to like do concert photography, so I don't know, just started emailing people at venues, and a guy that used to run headliners up in Toledo was randomly like, okay, I'll get you press passes for Under Oath. Got my camera, didn't know what I was doing, went and shot that show. Then I emailed the next place, and I was like, hey, I just shot this. And then eventually you can send a list of bands that you photograph, and then they'll say yes to you anywhere. So the Bunbury Music Festival in Cincinnati, the first year of that's huge. Like Weezer was there, like Death Cab was there, like Guided by Voices was down there. Like a 3-day festival. I just emailed them, and they're like, sure, come on down, free tickets. And I'm like, how did this happen? Oh, it started, you need a publication. So I just opened a blog because the internet. And I called it like, this is my own publication. So I was like shooting next to some guy that had like a Rolling Stone press pass on.
It's a New York
DIY,
Times, guys.
baby.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Fake
And
it
then
till
I
you
just
make
it.
quit doing that. So
How long did you do it for?
like 2 or 3 years.
Did you just want some free shows?
Not initially. Then I realized I could do it, and I'm like, this is awesome, dude.
Seriously.
I'm a photographer.
Yeah, I have a blog that 10 people look at.
So you just like didn't end up liking the photography?
I liked it, but it was,
You like editing and everything too?
yeah, it was fun. I mean, still
He's an artiste.
mess
In
around a little
several
bit with
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So,
just
He makes
behind
cool wood stuff too.
Really? Wait.
do some woodwork.
Whittle me something right now.
He made my guitar. No, not really.
No, we should play that off though.
Yeah.
I can't believe
The white
we've
guitar
had
from
2
11 Minute
carvers
Mark.
in a row. Because our show
Yeah.
last week, the guy did like wood.
Chainsaw.
Yeah,
Ooh,
chainsaw.
Oh,
like
that's
ice
cool.
carver. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ice carving.
How are you with a chainsaw?
Not good. It freaks me out. Kind of
I
scary.
like to chew on ice cubes.
Okay.
Oh.
I think
I
that's
guess
some
that's kinda
iron
carving 'em.
deficiency, right?
I'm not carving them into anything, but you know.
Yeah, that is iron deficiency.
Are you
Yes.
iron deficient?
I don't know, maybe.
Is that a sign of it?
If
Yeah.
you're chewing ice cubes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, not like regularly. I mean, if I get like a drink at the, fast food joint
At
or
the
something,
drink
you know,
place.
the drink
Oh
place,
yeah, you're
at
probably
the drink
fine.
spot, then once the liquid's all gone, there's some ice down there, and
I think like if you're iron deficient, you like crave ice.
I need some iron then.
Now I
guess.
really want ice.
I want some iron.
Oh.
Interesting.
Iron Maiden never got into it.
No, me neither.
Oh really?
No.
Yeah.
So the thing about Iron Maiden is, in my first high
These
school bands, I
transitions.
was the bassist, and Steve Harris was the first bassist I started learning from.
Okay.
So some of the first stuff I ever learned on a bass guitar was galloping, and
Yeah.
our band covered the Trooper.
Okay.
When
That
I-
seems like some hard stuff to be your first.
I know. I
bass
just like
learning
that's what I was
from.
listening to, so that's what I started with. I was like, okay, I learned The Trooper by Iron Maiden, Hysteria by Muse,
Yeah.
and then a bunch of Wolfmother songs. And like that's like what we were all about. I think we played Joker and the Thief more than Wolfmother ever has.
Oh.
That's sweet though.
It was
I
like
do
everybody
love
thought
that
it was our song. It was like our jam. But yeah,
Yeah.
Iron
that
Maiden was
song's
my
sweet.
shit.
That
back
song
then.
is good though. I mean, that
Yeah.
song rocks though.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wolfmother's the bomb.
Cool.
Everybody go listen to Wolfmother.
Sweet
And the
band
leg
name,
thighs.
too.
And the
And the
Leg
leg
Thighs.
thighs.
Touring together, Australian tour 2022.
Do you have any other interesting like artistic like side hustles that you've messed around with in
No.
the past?
Nothing. This is literally
Alright.
the
That was
only
it.
artistic thing I can do. My handwriting is awful. I can't draw nothing. What do I?
I'm trying to think what you might.
Yeah, I can't really do nothing. This is literally it.
All right.
Oh.
Wow, Jack.
What's your favorite
What
TV
the-
show?
Of all time, it depends. So I love Seinfeld. I'm like a
Oh,
diehard
yeah, yeah.
Seinfeld fan, and
Pretty
it probably
good.
is my
Seinfeld's
favorite show.
pretty hard.
But I also love Breaking Bad. So it kind of
Yeah.
depends. Like if it's gonna be comedy, then Seinfeld. If I had to pick, if I could watch like one show the rest of my life, it's Seinfeld for sure.
There's more of
But-
it to watch.
There's more of it to
Yeah,
watch,
that's a
and it's
good
just
call.
And you can watch any episode at any time.
I've
really.
watched. I mean, we're like Seinfeld, like diehard. So we
Yeah.
yeah,
Seinfeld's
it's kind
amazing.
kind of
It's an
weird
incredible
how
show.
much we know.
I would probably choose
about
It's
that
Always
show.
Sunny in Philadelphia, which is just
Yeah.
Seinfeld for the new generation.
You're right. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, they're all terrible
It's
people.
it's the same show, and
Right.
they even did a episode where they do a shot for shot scene from a Seinfeld episode.
Oh, that's a newer season, right?
A newer season of Sunny. Yeah,
Yeah.
they like shot for shot recreate a scene.
That's funny.
That's so awesome.
So yeah, there's definitely like they're obviously influenced by it.
Yeah.
But there's also 14 seasons of that. So
I love when
Again,
they
yeah.
get a band together in Sunny too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Chemical
Toilet
Toilet.
and we're the Pecan Sandies.
Pecan Sandies. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Chemical
we're gonna dive into that, I'll quote it all night. So
Oh,
let's
boy.
just
We're not
back
gonna
out.
do that.
No.
Let's back out. Jackson, take it back. Take it back.
Let's pull this train into the station.
Is that a euphemism?
It's whatever you want it to be, babe.
Oh.
Well, I mean, unless you guys have anything else that you specifically want to say.
I want to say thanks to Bowling Green State University.
Yeah.
Go Falcons.
Yeah. This was cool.
Great.
Thank you guys for having us.
Turn up.
Sure. Anything you want to plug for?
Yeah.
people to go
We
see?
have Instagram, The Leg Thighs, Facebook, The Leg Thighs, YouTube. Follow us, subscribe. We got some cool music on there. December 7th at Civic in Toledo. We're opening for Bob Seger, Budget Bob Seger. And those tickets are $10, so you can shoot us a message on Facebook or you can buy them on the website.
You
Come
can
check us
sneak
out.
in and not pay.
Don't do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having us. Go Falcons. Go Browns.
Oh. You guys
Wow.
know if you search the leg thighs on YouTube, a bunch of exercise
just
videos
A
Exercise.
are-
bunch of and that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I actually like to do it. You know,
This
and
is
just
all
see.
our ploy to get everyone.
Those are
talking.
actually all my thighs too.
Brilliant.
Yes,
Brilliant.
in
They're
different
very nice thighs.
shaved positions.
All right, and then we just cut it there.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for
14
coming in,
nothing,
leg
baby.
thighs.
Come on,
Boom.
come on, get at me.
Good night. Sleep tight.